A reliable leaker that talked about GTA 6 even before the big 2022 leak came out, when you had 90 plus clips of footage. Before that, there was this other guy called Legacy Killer HD, aka Michael. He did a bunch of tweets leaking information about GTA 6 and he turned out to be right. So I wanted to do a little bit of a retrospective of what he said before anybody knew anything about the game and reference these things in trailer 2 and all the screenshots that we have today. He starts with saying, "Think I'm about done reporting GTA 6 stuff on here that I've heard or providing insight. One game I wish I didn't know so much about. The community is the most insane I've dealt with. Unwell rabid individuals. Criticism is fine, but some of you take that up to threats." Which was true back in the day. Now everybody is happy with all the footage, but back then we didn't have anything. We didn't even have the leaks. We didn't have nothing. So he goes on to say, however, the game is massive. Well, we know that. Full of a ish load of side content, which you can see throughout the screenshots is very possible and very likely. He goes on to say a lot of countryside and towns. Well, you can see that as well with the grass rivers, Leonida Keys, Ambrosia, and the big mountainside. He goes on to say main story is shorter than Red Dead 2. So that's a little bit curious. We cannot know if that's true. Obviously this is from 3 years ago, so they might have extended the story mode. But Red Dead 2 was a pretty long game as well, although I think that is gonna be just as long as Red Dead 2 personally, but that's speculation. I don't know nothing about any insights. He goes on to say, one central theme from a few sources is criminals figuring things out, which always is the case in Grand Theft Auto, but we can already see that with Booby, Dre, The Real Dimes, Raul Batista, Cal Hampton, and Brian, so he wasn't really wrong. He goes on to say, family struggles, which I will do maybe a separate video about, because I think in this bar scene where Jason and Lucia are celebrating, this guy on the left is the same guy who is taking the selfie a little later in the trailer, and I also think that this girl in the dress is actually her sister, so her brother and her sister are right there, and there's gonna be family struggles because Jason picked Lucia up on her own. So what's that all about? And by the way, thank you so much to all the members on screen right here. Thanks to Sad Life 420 who gifted all these memberships during our live stream. If you want to be a member too and be on this screen, just join. Also like and subscribe. Let's go back to the video. Which I agree with Legacy Killer HD saying sounds like a more grounded story to me. But there is still a lot of usual insanity in missions. He heard that there's supposedly some inspiration from the Fast and Furious movies, like this vault scene in Fast and Furious 5. And yes, that turned out to be true. As you can see here in the trailer, where this big truck, I think it's the Vapid, maybe Brian's Vapid, that's at the beginning of the trailer, probably the same car, is stealing a bank vault. Crazy and super fun. He goes on to say, as far as I know, Lucia is a central character of this story, as Michael is to GTA 5. A lot of the intro was already leaked on Reddit by a prominent community member that passed it off as speculation. So if somebody knows what that's all about, let me know in the comments below, and I'll make a separate video on that. Lucia/Jason have separate intro missions, which could be the case, we don't know, the game is not out yet. And there's corrupt cops/a chief. Now we saw this chief, which is very curious that this is mentioned and not really explained more about. So Legacy Killer HD probably knows more and he will state something about that later on. But that's one mysterious character right there. He goes on to say Russians create chaos and all the things you expect from a GTA game. A lot of planned and cut content or ideas that didn't go far, like the voice protagonists in the online version of GTA. And online has been worked on for years now. A lot of the fidelity and performance options from GTA 5 are supposed to be here, but I've heard they've struggled with making 60 FPS happen, which is also true. The trailer of GTA 6 is in 4K, but it's 30 FPS. And now the reason why the game is delayed, because Legacy Killer HD states that one dev said it was the best project they've worked on at Rockstar in terms of not being overworked to death. Lots of veterans were ready to go after Red Dead Redemption 2 and some were happy, then Hauser left. Also, one had unkind words for Laszlo. I don't know about all that, but oh well. This is why the game has been delayed, so it prevents crunch and they can just go see their family for the next year, you know what I mean? And it basically means instead of working 16 hours or 20 hours, they only have to work 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day. They probably still work more than usually right now, but not that they have to stay at the office sleeping at the desk. He continues, basketball minigame was worked on at the Toronto studio. It was on the chopping block at the end of 2023, which as you can see in this screenshot happens to be true. And also here at the beginning of the trailer, you can see Jason actually loves basketball, so there's no way I think that this feature is not gonna be in the game. Why would they make it such a big thing if you're not gonna have the minigame available to actually play? And it's always difficult talking about game active in development because a lot of things can change. And he also says a lot more Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay in this game than I think some expect, which happened to be true with the weapon wheel. That's kind of the same, and like jumping from horse to another horse, you can jump from your motorcycle to something else in GTA 6, so that's also kind of similar. Yeah, he's probably right. And then there's a closing part, but it's mostly information that would bore you, so that was this little quick video I wanted to make. A lot of what he said came true and has been thought about or shown in this new GTA 6 drop, the biggest drop for Grand Theft Auto ever. So thank you all so much for watching. Again, thank you for all the members. Thanks to Sad Life for 20 who gifted all of them. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye.